Okay, so for those who didn't get the memo, what we're doing chapter 42. The last one we did was 43, and we saw people who said that 43 is really part of 42. And that was seems to be a machlokas among like our chachamim and the academics as well. So in terms of the candidacy for saying that there are only 147 chapters in Tehillim, this pairing is one of the places where you like make the merger. Okay, so what we're gonna do, what we usually do, which is to spend this first session translating it laboriously, and like doing observations and stuff like that. But I'm kind of in my fantasies, this is going to proceed faster because my mind is going to be treating this as the same perek, and there are going to be similar phrases. So we might already have ideas quicker than we usually have. But you weren't here for the last one, so you'll be the fresh mind in the in the room. Yeah. Okay. So lamnatseach maskil livnei Korach. Okay. So as usual, we're not going to translate this and try to figure it out. I think I do want to look into what a maskil is. Do we have a working definition of what a maskil is? We've had them before in years past.
I don't remember.
Okay, so but just based on the word maskil, what would you say? Yeah, so maskil is a I don't know if there's an English word for this because I don't think we have songs like this in English. Like, let's call it a instructive psalm. Okay. Now, all psalms are instructive in the sense that they have ideas, but it seems like this one is specifically to give us ideas, like almost like think of it like Musar, but not for character traits, but for like thinking about God in the right way. You know, maybe a corrective intelligence. I don't know exactly how to say it. Of the sons of Korach. Okay. And we won't go into that right now. I'm sure the Mefarshim will talk about that, but we'll have to look into that later on, right? Anyone know what the basic deal is with the sons of Korach?
They did teshuva and they lived.
Yeah, right, yeah, and like they became great Leviim. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, right. Yeah, I don't know how many there are, but I think they start here. Oh, also, I want to mention, whatever books mean in Tehillim, this is the beginning of the second book.
Oh,
okay. And the only thing I know about books in Tehillim is that there are 5, and the reason given is because it's like the Chamisha Torah, but I don't know what that means or which one came first. So I don't know
which one came first.
Meaning, did David Melch divide it into 5, and then we attach the significance of its Chamisha Torah, or did we want to make it like Torah and therefore we divide it into 5? Yeah.
I had a scary moment.
Oh yeah. No. Torah came before Tehillim. Yeah. Okay. All right. So you say this is a song. Do you know what it means? Ayal ta'arog al afike maim, kain nafshi ta'arog elacha elokim.
Oh, it's beautiful.
It is beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, like a ram.
Not a ram.
Ayal's not a ram.
Ayil is a ram. That's interesting. Ayal. Like, oh, this is the one time Ayal Vader's not here. Yeah. Ayal is, so I think it's a deer or a hart. I don't know what the difference is.
The hart. I've never
HART.
Hart. Yeah. What is a hart?
I don't know.
Hart is an adult male deer. Yeah. So like, Ayala is the feminine. Ayal is the masculine. Stag, I know, is the male, right? Yeah. Okay. Like a which one you like? Which
Hart.
I like stag because I think of Harry Potter. Right.
Okay. Well, I've been playing Hollow Knight lately, so I think of Hollow Knight. This whole
okay.
Stack.
Let's just say like heart. Okay.
Yeah,
Ta'arog al afike mine. That's a
like not runs after, but like.
See, I also thought that.
Or something like
oh yeah. So desires is probably the closest one. So arag is to long for.
Oh.
From Arabic ascend, bend, incline towards. So like that. Yeah, right. Although I guess it's all afike mime. So like a heart that longs. I think you have to say it's for, right?
Yeah.
For afike mime.
Streams of water?
Yeah, let's say streams of water. Streams of water. We say that in Shir Malz, right? Kafikim banegev.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Kain nafshi tarog elecha elokim.
So to my soul, I guess longs.
Yeah, longs for you.
My God.
Yeah. Should we have not my God, right? Just God. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think we should have an O there, right? Oh God, right? Yeah. I feel like exclamation. Okay.
You got me on these O's.
Yeah, I know. They work, right? Yeah. Okay. I blame Artscroll. Sama nafshi lelukim lekelchai masai avo ve'ira'e pnei elokim.
Someone's image? No.
That's Selem. Yeah. Sameh. Oh, okay.
Long, I would say long.
So
again,
thirst,
but
thirsty,
okay.
right?
That makes sense.
Ra'iv and sameh, right? Okay. Yeah. So tsama nafshi lelukim lekel chai.
My
Soul
soul
thirst.
thirsts
For
for
God,
God,
lekel chai.
the living
For the
God.
living God. Yeah.
Oh, wait, are you? Oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't know of a good way to translate Elohim and Kel differently. So
Aren't they?
divinity.
Aren't they related?
They are related. Yeah. But it'd be nice to have some sort of differentiation. Yeah.
Kel seems more, to me at least, seems more personal.
Interesting.
Maybe it's also because Kel Chai. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not
It
sure.
seems more
Yeah, I don't have
personal.
I don't have my own implications here. Okay. Masai Avo.
When will?
Oh, sorry. I think if I remember correctly, Masai Avo. I think my soul thirsts for God, for the living God. Yeah, I mean, Masai Avo ve'era'e pnei Elokim. I'm not sure how to punctuate this part.
Well, it's tough also because there's nachas under Avo.
I know. Yeah. It feels like the Asnachos should be
Yeah.
Lekel Chai,
Yeah.
and then Masai Avo ve'era'e pnei Elokim.
Yeah. Avo is me, right?
Yeah.
When will I come
When will I come?
and see or behold the face
So I
of
think
God?
era'eh
Be seen?
is and appear before the presence of God, right? And appear before the presence of God. Yeah. So I'm gonna go like this as a question, right? I mean, I don't see that's the thing is I don't know. Masai, I think, is only as a question, because what I'm tempted to say also is my soul thirsts for God for when I will go and appear before him in his presence, meaning like as a statement, but we'll leave it like this for now. Okay. Haisa li dimasi lechem yomam v'laila. Abrupt change of tone here,
Yeah.
right? So it's dima.
Is it like a form?
No.
What am I thinking?
You're thinking of without an ayin of domeh, like with a hey, or dumia, dima. So it's tear.
Oh, no.
Yeah, my tears. Yeah. So my tears were for me. Lechem yomam v'laila.
Sustenance.
Yeah.
Day and night.
Let's put it here. We're sustenance, literally bread for me day and night. Okay.
Wow.
More they say that diet makes you lose weight. The tear diet. Be'emor elai kol hayom aye elokecha.
Wait, Be'emor of the beige, right?
Be'emor, yeah. So I think you do have to put in a pronoun here when they, okay, say to me, kol hayom.
Oh, the whole day.
All day.
Where is your God?
Where is your God? Okay. Yeah. All right. Ele ezkara. Do you recognize that phrase?
Yeah, I remember reading through it yeah.
Yeah, that's the only other phrase I think that is known other than those early two psukim. That's like well known. It's not super well known. So Ele ezkara is the title of the piyut we say about the 10 martyrs. Ele ezkara.
Okay.
And we also say Tish B'Av also, I think there's a thing with Ele ezkara. I don't know if it begins with Ele ezkara. So Ele ezkara v'eshcha alai nafshi.
Is that one of the keynotes?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. So Ele ezkara?
They or to them?
Yeah, say these, right?
Okay.
These ezkara.
I mention?
Yeah, I mention
and I grow or cash?
shofech. Not shalach.
Show like shofech dam?
Yeah.
Doesn't that mean to spill?
Spill, yeah. I would say pour, right? Pour out
soul?
Yeah. Eshbecha alai. That's alai's a little weird, right?
On me, my soul.
Yeah, pour out my soul on myself. I'm not sure how to say it. Yeah, on me. On myself sounds better, right? On myself. Ki evor basach. Oh, here comes a string of weird words.
Yeah.
Ki evor basach edadem ad beis Elokim v'kol rina v'soda hamon chogeg. Woof. Okay, so let's do sach. I feel like that's a modern Hebrew word. Don't people say like sach hakol, right?
I have no idea. I'll speak modern Hebrew.
Okay, fine. Sach is, I would say sach means a number or a sum. Like b'michsas nefashos. Let's see what sach is here. Throng.
Oh, okay, that's like
a good number. Yeah.
Good...
Yeah. So proposes an interwoven mass. Interesting. Oh, probably related to schach, right? Used to pass along the throng.
Does that just mean shade though or cover?
Yeah, it means cover. I'm saying like they have woven mats for that. Okay, so what did he say? Oh, ki evor basach. So I pour my soul when I
pass.
Yeah, when I pass.
When I pass in
Yeah, I'm gonna say among the throng.
Okay.
Among the throng. Edadim. This is another weird word that I had to look up. Edadim is, I don't think there's possible to guess this. Is to move slowly or to lead slowly, or if you're talking about a camel, it's to run quickly because it's all relative. Yeah, to lead slowly in procession, to walk deliberately, at ease. What is that? Dechidi, or as in a procession. Ew. I don't know. I know these. Oh, it's a guy. Okay, Ewald. Thank you, Ewald. What was on Toasty Dough? Oh, these are all people. Okay, whatever. Abbreviations. Yeah, no, it's TK chain. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. Whatever. Anyway, so to walk in a procession, I think is probably going to be the best bet here. When I pass him on the throng, I walk in a procession, ad beis Elokim,
To the house of
to the
God.
house of God. B'kol rina.
With a loud, or with a, well, Rina is like joyous.
Yeah,
A
joyous.
joyous voice.
Yeah.
Joyous and
Let's.
is it Kol Rina Vitoda?
Yeah, with a voice of joy and thanksgiving, right?
Yeah.
Hamon chogeg.
The nation?
Yeah, so Hamon,
like
I think Hamon literally means multitude. Yeah, multitude. Okay, interesting. So it means comes from homeh, which we're gonna have later on in the perek. Murmur, roar, crowd, abundance. Sound, murmur, rush, roar, tumult, confusion, crowd, multitude, great number, abundance, wealth.
it seems like it means like abundance and the sound that comes with it.
Yeah, so chogeg, how would you translate?
Like chag?
Yeah, right. So
like party goers?
to make a pilgrimage or pilgrim feast. Yeah. So Hamon chogeg, the noisy crowd that celebrates.
Oh yeah, I had a word in vocabulary.
Or that makes pilgrimage. Probably pilgrimage is better because he's going to the Beis Elohim.
Merrymaking.
Yeah.
Revelry was the
yeah,
word.
yeah. But I think pilgrimage works better here because they're going to the Beis Elohim. Yeah. Similarly, I think the Rambam uses this term when he says in the mitzvah of Aliyah L'Regel. And I think Rabbi Zucker, and I was machavin to Rabbi Zucker's made up word, which is, let's see here. Hold on. I just want to make sure I'm not imagining this. Korbanos. No, I got korbanos. Chagiga, right? You know the difference between sefer avot and sefer korbanos?
Wait, I'm scanning through Carbonos. I'll tell you this. I don't know.
Avoda is communal korbanos, and korbanos is individual ones. Yeah. So chagiga and it's Aliyah L'Regel is shinsta. Wait, in the Hakdama. Lachug. Maybe lachug is what I was thinking of. Yeah, it's not the chogeg. Yeah, is the made of word we made is to festivate, which sounds like sounds like something that like oozes. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, no, it sounds like an infection. But okay. Anyway, to make pilgrimage. Okay, now we're at to 6. Okay, so this should be familiar. Well, it should be familiar to us for one reason and to Chaim for another reason. Ma tishtochachi nafshi vatehmi alai. Right. So to Chaim is familiar from Lechadodi, to us is familiar from the last perek or from the next perek. Yeah. Okay. So ma tishtochachi nafshi. So I forgot how we translated it.
It's downcast or no?
Yeah. Why are you downcast? Sorry, how we did it. Why are you downcast?
My soul.
Oh, my soul. My soul. Yeah. But vatehmi alai. So temi, there was a machlokas on what temi meant. Either it comes from hama, which is to moan or groan, or it comes from confusion. Let's say and be confounded. Okay, a lie to me. So this is also verbatim from last time, but with a catch.
Wait, you put the word be in there?
Oh, sorry. Thank you. To be. Oh no.
No, I mean, take out the first be no, or is it why are you downcast on my soul?
Why are you downcast? And why are confounded to me? And why are you confounded to me? Yeah, I do actually want to see how we translated it last time. After we finish this. Yeah. So if you'll remember, last time, this was all one pasuk. So it's broken up here into 2 sentences with the Elokai being at the end, which makes things easier for us. So, Hochili Lelokim. So I think we translated it as wait for God. Oh, well, I'll check in a minute.
Yeah.
Wait for God. Ki odenu, for I will yet again thank him. Yeah, or gratefully acknowledge him. Gratefully acknowledge him. No, here's the part that we couldn't translate. Yeshuos panav. So I think Artscroll's trick, which we read on last time, I'll check in a second, is for the salvations of my countenance. Yeah, okay. So now let's just check what we did last time. Tehilim 43. Why are you downcast, O my soul? Why are you disturbed on my account? That's probably better, right? Why and why are you disturbed on my account? Yeah, tomorrow or Isaiah?
Am I seeing it correctly that later it's enough, but later it's Panai, but this one is enough?
Oh yeah. So let's just check that out here. I think you're right. Yeah, the last one is Panai Velokai. So await God, for I shall yet thank him for the salvations of my countenance, and because he is my God. And this is Panav, right? Of his countenance. Thank you. That's even weirder, right? I think Alter had for his saving countenance. I think that makes
That makes a lot more sense.
That makes a lot more sense. Yeah. Yeah. Countenance. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So there's that. All right. Then we say Elokai alai nafshi tishtochachi. Oh, sorry, tishtochach. Yeah. Right. So Elokai alai nafshi tishtochach. So I think this is an answer, right? Because he asked the question, Ma tishtochachi nafshi. And the answer is, I don't know why he's answering to God, but my God, alai nafshi tishtocha. On me, my soul is bent. I don't know. It's very, very strange parsing here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So let's just get the words out, and we'll modify later. So my God, alai nafshi, is weird. Yes, I don't know how to do it, but I think you have to say alai nafshi tishtocha.
Myself.
Yeah, on account, that's probably good. On account of me, my soul is downcast. Right? Who is it? It's me. Al-Kain.
I'm the problem with me.
Yeah, right. Al-Kain as Karacham Eretz Yardain. Therefore,
I call to you from the land.
So I think as Karacha is not I call, right? Yeah, recall, right? I recall you from the land of Jordan. The Hermonim.
Harmonia. What are
You're familiar with
Hermon?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Right. So this is it's a mountain. Yeah. So this is in plural. So the Hermon Mountains, I guess.
Hermon's the North Israel, right? No?
Yeah, I think it snows there.
Right. That's the one that snows, right? Yeah.
Yeah. All I know is they have the Mount Hermon, right? Yeah. All I know is that when Rabbi Moskowitz was so bad at pronouncing things, whenever we would encounter this word, not even like trying to be funny, he would pronounce it like Herman, like the name Herman, So I always see the line like not Herman, good old Herman there. Yeah. The Hermon Mountains. Mehar Mitzar. Do you know what that is?
Wait,
Har Mitzar. From Mount Mitzar. I'll just say Mount Mitzar. Okay. Those are very specific, obviously. To whom, I feel like this is a famous phrase, but I don't know from where. To whom el Tehom Kore.
Never heard it before.
No, okay. Maybe I'm imagining it.
I mean, Tehom is like the beginning of Bereshit.
Yeah, right. So
that's the only thing I know about Tehom.
Mount Mitzar, according to ChatGPT, it's supposed to be a lesser known mountain near Mount Hermon.
Oh, there you go. Makes sense. Okay. Yeah. Where's Tehom then?
Depth.
Yeah, depth. Right. So I'm gonna say.
I think it's in Bereshit.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. The Ruach al Pnei Tehom.
Or no,
Yeah.
from the deep.
Yeah. I think it's. Wait. Yeah.
It's
I
like
can never.
the deep, the creatures in the deep. Or
No.
Something al Pnei Tehom, right?
Yeah.
It's
God. It's about God. It's about
It's somewhere.
We should know this.
I was just reading.
It's the second perek. Pause it. Darkness is over the face of the deep.
Over the face of the deep.
Yeah. Right. So the deep. I'm gonna call it the deep. Okay. Deep to deep calls. Okay. I don't know what that means. L'kol tsinorecha. So what is a tsinor?
Not a keto.
Not a keep. Tsinorecha are pipes, spouts, or conduits.
Sewers.
I think
Yeah,
it's- But if it's in the deep, could it be like a well or like?
I don't
Oh,
know.
that's reading into it.
Yeah, I don't know.
A spout, though.
Yeah, so there's remember, you gotta remember there's two types of deeps. Where else in Bereshit do we talk about the deep other than in
It's in Naya or
in what?
where else in Parshas Bereshit or
No, in Sefer Bereshit. I thought you just said it, but
where I said it? What if I read for the well?
no. Yeah, what do you say?
I was gonna say
I keep on.
Yaakov.
Also Naya, no?
Yes, that's what I thought you
It
said.
is in Naya.
Yeah,
it is in
right,
Naya.
right. So in that context,
The wells of the deep.
yeah, burst forth,
Right.
right? So that's
Right.
like the under subterranean water thingies, right? So maybe that's the cold tsinorecha, the sound of spouts from the deep.
Right, that's what
Right? I'm gonna assume that.
I think spouts make sense.
Yeah, the sound of there must be some sort of fancy geological term for
Is
this.
he calling to that?
I don't know, because he doesn't say I'm calling, he just says calls, right? The sound, or so deep to deep, maybe, yeah, tom el tom, kore l'kol tsinorecha. Yeah, let's just say the sound of your,
The voice of the deep calls.
yeah, the voice of your spout's call, right? Because it's your spouts, right?
Guys are like old faithful.
Yeah, I guess it's pretty loud. Kol mishparecha v'galecha alai avaru. All your what was it? Yeah, so breakers, which is a fancy word for waves.
Oh.
V'galecha, like gal gadot.
Gal?
Yeah.
Like gal? Like
No.
steer? No. Gal? Oh.
Also another word for wave. V'galecha alai avaru, and waves pass over me. Yeah, tomorrow, Isaiah.
I just didn't understand the how you translated Mikkel, or were you just kind of ignoring the lemon, like we drop it?
I couldn't hear all your words. If you're asking me how I translated coal,
Yeah, like it says a lemon before it.
oh, l'kol, yeah, deep to deep. Yeah, you're right. Tahom el tahom kore l'kol tsinorecha. So deep to deep calls for the voice. Yeah, I'll say that calls for the voice of your spouts. Yeah, I'll try that. See what happens. Yeah, Hoodie.
I don't know. Couldn't Tahom be from sea to sea, especially since you were just talking about mountain
Oh, that's
to mountain?
interesting.
And then
Yeah.
it's saying like a Korea as in a command, like from sea to sea, call out.
Yeah.
Tinerecha.
Yeah, that's good also. Yeah, I feel like I have to have the word deep in there because it does mean depths. So deep sea, maybe from deep sea to deep sea. Well, how do you say the other part after that?
I would say from sea to sea, like call out, Korea call out, Tinerecha.
Right. So that part, I don't think it works as an imperative of call out. I mean, in other words, describing what it is doing. It calls for the voice of your spouts. So I think. So we'll keep it like that. I like from sea to sea though. Hopefully that works. Yeah, we got to figure out the hydrodynamics here. Okay, another obscure question. So when I was reading this, I was very proud of myself. I was like, this is plagiarism. But anyone? Okay, again, I would not expect anyone to know this. We know where this comes from. Kol mishparecha v'galecha alai avaru.
Since you're asking,
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess Eov.
No, that's a good guess though. It's a good guess.
My second guess is shiur.
No.
Oh no, that don't make any sense. Never mind.
Well, I'll give you a guess. You can guess this. Who was thrashing around in the ocean?
Noah.
No.
Oh, no.
Yeah, Jonah. Yeah. No, Hidamka wasn't thrashing. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Okay. So Yonah has the second perek where he's giving his song that he sang from the depths of the fish, and he says exactly, "Mishparecha v'galecha, kol mishparecha v'galecha alai avaru." Yeah. So if it's plagiarism, I mean, if it's what do you call it? Not alluding to, referencing. There's a fancier word for this. There we go. But he's referencing David, right? Or Bnei Korach, I guess. Bnei Korach, yeah, because he was. Actually, I mean, I don't know when the Bnei Yonah is referencing the Bnei Korach, if anyone, because I assume the Bnei Korach came first.
I just turn that off.
Right. Yeah. I mean, Yonah was in before the destruction of the northern kingdom, because that's why he didn't want to go give the nevuah to Nineveh, because then they were going to be rehabilitated and destroyed.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know what to make of the fact that this is Yonah, but it's verbatim. Okay. Yomam yitzave ad Hashem chasto uvalaylo shiro imi tefilah lekel chayai.
So the days during the day?
Yeah, by day, I think so. Yeah, during the day is fine. Yeah. Yitzave ad Hashem chasto.
Hashem, you command your.
That'd be titzaveh, right?
Oh.
Yitzaveh.
Like will.
Yeah, Hashem will command his kindness. Uvalayla shiro imi.
And by night, his praise is with me.
Better word for shiur.
Song.
Yeah, his song is with me. Now, you notice what's weird about the word song here? Yeah, it's spelled with a hey, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's very weird. So I believe there is some dispute about whether this actually means song. Okay. Let me just click on this and see if that's where I got it from. Shiro. Because this is song. Okay, so I'll show you where I got it from. Okay. The Minchas Shai. Why did I look at the Minchas Shai? Because he's the word guy, right? So he has this ginormous thing here, okay, which especially for Minchas Shai, using ChatGPT is the way to go. So you'll see why. Please translate this Minchas Shai on Tehilim 42. What's the pasuk? 9. Yeah, 9. Okay, so Minchas Shai says, the phrase "Uvalalo shiro imi" appears twice in the Masorah, which is the traditional textual notes on the Torah and Tanakh. One instance is written with a vav, and one instance is written with a hey. In the major Masorah, under the letter Aleph, they are counted with the Aleph Bet system as two instances of Beis 2-2, and both occur. I don't know what that is. Rashi explains, here we go. Rashi explains that the shiro imi means his encampment is with me, interpreting shiro as encampment, similar to how vayichen or vayichan, he camped in Hebrew, is translated as ushra Aramaic. So shiro is like a quasi-Aramaic Hebrew thing. I learned this explanation from the Masoretic tradition, which associates this phrase with vayhi shiro hamisha va'aleph, or v'aleph, linking them in the alphabet arrangement of two words that differ in meaning. This suggests that shiro here is not referring to song. However, Midrash Haggadah interprets it as song, etc. See, there more there for details. And then he brings a bunch of Zohar and Gemaras that say that this is talking about song. So it can mean song or encampment. Okay. No. That comes from maybe right. Maybe Hashra is not a biblical Hebrew. Maybe that's rabbinic. Yeah, that makes sense. So the weird thing to me, encampment sounds weird, right? Because he's talking about tefilah lekel chaya, right? Prayer to the God of my life. In other words, it sounds like this is song, not camp, right? But the weird thing also is, why would it be written this way? Like without the nikudos, you would think it's just shira, right? And if it's shiro, then why not just, so I don't know what to make of this, but I'm going to say song or encampment because Rashi knows what he's doing. Encampment. Encampment, that's how you spell it. Okay, yeah. All right, almost done with the translation. Omra lakel sal'i lama shechachtani lama koder elech balachat oyev. Okay, so this is very similar to what we had in our last one, right? So Omra, say, yeah, to God sal'i, my Selah.
My rock.
Yeah, my rock. Okay. Anyone remember what the last one said? Last one said Kel Ma'uzi, God my fortress. Okay. And then we say Lama Shechachtani.
Why have you forgotten me?
Yeah. Why have you forgotten me? Whereas the next perek says Lama Zanachtani. Why have you abandoned me? Okay. So slight differences, but then this part's the same.
It's like a parallel.
Yeah. Lama koder elech belachat oyev. Why do I walk about in gloom under the pressure of the enemy? Right, so that's the same as last time. Okay, then we've got, this is a weird one. Beretzach be'atzmosai cherfuni tzorarai. Omram Elai Kol Hayom Aye Elokacha. Yeah, well, how do you translate Retzach?
Running, Retzach, like lots?
No, like Ritzicha.
Killing.
Yeah, right. Murder, right? So, how is it? Beretzach be'atzmosai.
Killing myself? Killing of my bones?
Yeah, with murder in my bones.
Oh.
Okay, sounds bad, whatever it is. Herfuni tzorarai.
I.
Tzorai are my
Right,
neged tzorai.
my tormentors.
Tormentors. Herfuni, herpa. Macharef l'mugadef.
Scorn.
Scorn, yeah, scorn is good. Yeah, scorn. I would actually say more than scorn. I would say
Torment?
mock or deride. Oh, you'll see why. Be'omram elai kol hayom elokacha.
When they say to me,
Yeah.
when they say to me all day, where is your God?
Where is your God? Yeah.
With murder in my bones, my tormentors deride me.
Oh, sorry.
Deride.
Deride me. Wait, deride. Yeah,
Deride
me
saying.
by saying to me, right? Yeah.
We can you take out the to even. Oh no, never mind.
Okay. Okay, then the last one. Again, ma tishtachachi nafshi uma tami alai hochili lelukim ki od odenu yeshos panai velokai. So that one I think is exactly the same as the other one.
Right, that's the panai, not panai.
Yeah, right. So what do we say here? Why are you downcast, O my soul? And why are you disturbed on my account? Wait for God, for I will yet again gratefully acknowledge him. Now here we have to make a right. Yeshua's panai. So this here we can say, for this salvation of my face and my God. It still is going to sound weird no matter what, right? This is the same problem we had last time. For the salvations of my face and my God. Yeah, it's very weird. Okay, so that's our translations. Now let's go through and do Artscroll and Alter and see what they say. Okay. Artscroll. For the conductor, a Maskil by the sons of Korach. As the deer longs for brooks of water, so my soul longs for you, O God. My soul thirsts for God, for the living God. When shall I come and appear before God? All right, so is that how we had it? When shall I come and appear before the presence of God? I like saying the presence of God, I find. For me, my tears were sustenance day and night. When they say to me all day long, where is your God? These do I recall and pour out my soul for what has befallen me. Oh, that adds a lot of words in brackets there. How I passed with the throng, walking slowly with them up to the temple of God, with joyous song and thanks, a celebrating multitude, celebrating. Why are you downcast, my soul, and why are you disturbed in my account? Hope to God, for I shall yet thank him for the salvations of his countenance. Oh my God, my soul is downcast over me. All right, so that's what we struggle on that one, right? Oh my God, my soul is downcast over me. My God. Basically the same, right? I mean, I'll clean it up as I usually do later. Because I remember you from the land of Jordan. Oh, that's weird. So they translate, this is Al-Kain. In my experience, Al-Kain is always therefore. They say because.
On account of, maybe?
Yeah, on account, yes.
Al-Kain.
Al-Kain is, yeah, but it's not really on account of, right? Yeah, it's therefore. Therefore, they say, because I remember you from the land of Jordan and Hermon's peaks, from Mount Mitzar. Watery deep calls out to watery deep. Okay, there's another translation there. To the roar of your water channels. So they're saying to the word. Okay, I still don't know what it means. All your breakers and your waves have swept over me. In the day, Hashem will command his loving kindness. Even by night, his resting place is with me. A prayer to the God of my life. I will say to God.
They did like Rashi, like a kind of.
Resting place, correct. Yeah. I will say to God, my rock, why have you forgotten me? Why must I walk in gloom under the foe's oppression? With a murderous dagger in my bones. So they say dagger. Okay. I don't know where they're getting that from. Have my tormentors taunted me when they say to me all day long, where is your God? Why are you downcast, my soul? Why are you disturbing my account? Hope to God, for I shall yet thank him for the salvations of my countenance, and because he is my God. That was the trick article, and because he is my God. Right. And I don't know if we're going to like this trick, and because he is my God. Okay, now prepare for some good translation. Okay, Alter has a good translation of this. All right, as usual, but he does the poetry here. Okay, to the lead player, a Maskil for the Korahites. If the Maskil footnote, Maskil is going to comment. I didn't look at there yet. If the Maskil is generally a joyous song, the joy in this instance is relegated to the hopeful vision of being reunited with God. This psalm is a supplication in which the speaker. Okay, that's his interpretation. Fine. Okay, as a deer yearns for streams of water, so I yearn for you, O God. He says here. The poignancy of this famous line reflects the distinctive tone of this supplication, which instead of emphasizing the speaker's suffering, expresses above all his passionate longing for God. He addresses his words to God, but feels distant from God, a painful remove from the temple and plagued by his enemies. The I here is in the intensive form of the first person pronoun, nafshi, abundantly used in the psalm and translated in the text next verse as my whole being. I really like that translation of nafshi, but not in this verse to avoid what might sound like an awkward repetition in the English. The verb rendered as yearns, arag, appears only twice in the biblical corpus, so the exact meaning is not certain. Something it may refer to the sound a thirsty deer makes as it drinks. I don't know, it's like onomatopoeia, right?
When the spiel was next week, we
I know. Yeah, right. Someone's got to find the video of a deer drinking water and see if it makes it. Yeah. I don't know. Deers make weird noises. I mean, speaking from place where deer are as frequent as squirrels. So, you make weird noises. They sound like the zombies in Last of Us. Others to the animals bending its neck towards water. Arag. I think that was what the BDB said, is like inclining or something like that. Yeah. Okay. Right. So my whole being thirsts for God, for the living God. Footnote 3, thirst for God, for the living God. The verb thirst, of course, carries forward the simile of the deer yearning for the streams of water. The phrase living God may also continue the water imagery because living water is idiomatic in biblical Hebrew for fresh water. I forgot about that. Right. Yeah. Okay. Where are we here? When shall I come and see the presence of God? Footnote 4. And see the face of God. As elsewhere in the Bible, when this phrase is used, later editorial tradition to avoid the anthropomorphism, revocalize the verb so it reads be seen in God's presence. Okay, that's his theory, I guess. This psalm is the first one in the second book of Psalms, according to the canonical division, and editors throughout the book generally use God instead of Lord. Okay, fine, whatever. Okay, my tears became my bread day and night. Yeah, see, that's a more literal translation. As they said to me all day long, where is your God? See, I like, I think there's something about the insubstantiality of tears compared to like the substantiality of bread, and the fact that bread is like nutritious, and like you clearly cannot subsist on a diet of tears. I think bread is better. Footnote 5, my tears became my bread. Eating salt tears in the singular Hebrew instead of food carries on the thirst metaphor of the previous two verses. That's interesting. Yeah. So in other words, instead of getting living waters like a deer, he's getting his own tears. Yeah. All right. That's poetic. Okay. Right. As they said to me all day long, where is your God? These do I recall and pour out in my heart. When I would step in the procession, when I would march to the house of God with the sound of glad song of the celebrant throng. What was off the tongue there? Okay, 6 and 7 here. Pour out my heart. The Hebrew again uses nafshi, my life breath or my very self. The procession, the meaning of the Hebrew sach is in doubt. Okay, so sach, we said noisy throng, or whatever. How bent my being, how you moan for me. So he's saying ma'atish tochachi is like from like mishtachaveh, like shachoach. How bent my being, how you moan for me. Hope in God, for yet I will acclaim him for his rescuing presence. This is the whole altar thing. He always translates todah as acclaim, which is just like such a non-used word that it's almost meaningless to me. For his rescuing presence. My God, my being is bent for my plight. That was what we treated as the answer to the question, right? So 8, for my plight, the literal meaning of the Hebrew is on me or about me. Therefore do I recall you from the Jordan land, from the Hermons and the Mount Mizar. From Jordan land, from the okay. Though some scholars have sought to link this line with a historical exile of the Judeans, the perspective remains first person singular. In the geographical sweep from the Jordan in the east to Hermon in the Lebanon, yeah, you were right, it was in the north, region scarcely suggests anything like the Babylonian exile. Anomalously, Mount Hermon appears here as a plural, perhaps because it was most prominent in a chain of northern mountains. Mount Mizar has not yet been identified, though the name means small mountain. Okay. Deep unto deep calls out at the sound of your channels. All your breakers and waves have surged over me. Okay, so footnote here. Deep into deep calls out. This could be an associative leap from the heights to the antithetical depths, from the mountains to the sea, unless one chooses to imagine that the deeps or abysses are part of the mountainous landscape of Lebanon. I feel like that's hard to read. I feel like it's associated with water, especially because the second half of the pasuk. All your breakers and waves have surged over me. The geological or cosmic deeps of the first verse are transformed into a metaphor for the speaker's distress. The experience of threatened drowning is a familiar image for near death in Psalms, but here it is given startlingly new power through the linkage with the vast creation in which abyss calls to abyss. I mean, that's another one also, is he wanted to thirst and drink the water. Now he's being drowned to death in the sea. That's, a really powerful imagery here. Okay. By day, the Lord ordains his kindness. I like ordains better than command. Commanding your kindness. And by night, his song is with me. Prayer to the God of my life. Okay. Song is with me. By night, song is with me. There's a fine ambiguity in the phrasing. This could mean that the speaker hears God's song in the nights, song thus directly paralleling kindness in the first verse. Or the sense could be that in gloom do I go, hard pressed by the foe. Sorry. That is, I was not continuing to read the footnote. The speaker, let's see what happened, mindful of God's kindness, responds in the night with songs such as the song of this psalm. There has been cosmic sound in the previous line, and perhaps the Hebrew lekol tzinorecha, at the sound of your channels, is intended to make us think of lekol kinorecha, the sound of your lyres. You said that, right?
Yeah,
Kinor and Sinor. Yeah, there you go. Okay. Where were we here? Back in the thing. I would say to the God, my rock, why have you forgotten me? Why in gloom do I go hard pressed by the foe? With murder in my bones, my enemies revile me when they say to me all day long, where is your God? Now, I really like this footnote here. Okay, so check this out. Yeah. You're gonna like it even more now. With murder in my bones. This shocking phrase is what the Hebrew actually appears to say. The King James version, with no warrant, puts a sword in the bones, which is where Artscroll probably got it from. I don't know, from King James, the same source. Others seek to relate the Hebrew noun to a root that means crush. But in fact, the verbal stem ratzach everywhere means to murder. Here's the part. It is best to take this as an arresting expression of the imminent threat of death. The speaker can feel the murder that others wish to perpetuate on him in his very bones at the moment his enemies revile him. Like when they speak with such hatred that you can feel their murderous intent, in your bones.
I was thinking, as soon as you even read that line, I had the exact opposite, thought.
Yeah.
That when someone says I have murder in my bones, they're gonna.
Oh, they're gonna. Right.
When they what's the word when they revile him, he has murder himself.
That's interesting.
It doesn't sound mashable like that.
Yeah. Okay, that is interesting. Where are we here? Right. How bent my being, how you moan for me, hope in God, for yet I will claim him. His rescuing presence and my God. Last footnote. How bent my being. The repetition of verse 6 as a concluding refrain shows two small changes. The word my God, Elokai, is climactically added at the very end, right? Because in the last time it was a different pasuk. And the Masoretic text reads my presence, Panai, which does not make a great deal of sense. Well, we also found that. Two manuscripts as well as a version of the Aramaic Targum read Panav, his presence. This translation takes that as the probably correct reading. Yeah. Okay. So toughie here. Yeah. So any just general observations?
Water.
A lot of water.
That was the first time.
Yeah. Water's running through and through. Yeah. Yeah, Hoodie?
I don't know if this I don't know. I just noticed that seawater is also salt water, like tears, and it starts with a stream, which is clear water. And I wonder if it's he's drowning in his own despair and tears.
Okay, yeah. So let me just put these observations here. Observations. Okay. Lot of water. Okay, then we got fresh water to salty tears to salty ocean. And equals joyous yearning to sadness to drowning in distress. Yeah. Okay, that's good. I have my observation. I'm just holding off to give everyone else a chance. Yeah, toward Isaiah.
It's kind of a question. Can I ask it? Is it okay?
Yeah, sure.
There's an answer in the middle, which is, I guess, in 6, the one that's it's repeated.
I think, is it this one?
Yeah,
7?
that. And then he asked the question again at the end. Seems strange. Like, did it not?
Okay, that's a good question. Yeah, so
He asked the question again.
Yeah, tell me, I again had a little bit difficult time hearing you, but I think I got it, which is that actually let's do 6 and 7 and then 12. So obviously in 6, he asks a question, and in 7 he answers it, but in 12 he goes back and asks it again, right? Why? Yeah. Let me ask you the question we usually ask, which is where's the pivot point?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure that out.
Yeah. Because I'll tell you the difficulty here. I mean, this is my observation, is we have this term that we use for other program here, what we call like a bipolar or schizophrenic perek, where it just seems rapidly going from one emotion to the other, you know? So
hard for me to get a flow from this.
Yeah.
Like almost stagger.
Yeah.
Like with the repeating the question also.
Right.
It makes it difficult because you would think, oh, he's asking a question, he's answering the question.
Yeah.
He kind of does it multiple times.
Yeah. So let me show you this. I don't know if this is a reliable thing, but I went through just experimentally and color coded it. Okay. So my color coding is going to be, let's do blue for happy. Okay. So 2 is happy. And 3 is happy. And
Part of 3 is happy.
yeah, part of 3 is happy, right? So actually, we'll go through in order. Here's what I want to do. There's happy, there's sad, and then here's the other thing. There's things that are, if you read it in the context of happy, it can sound happy. If you read it in the context of sad, it can sound sad.
I would argue that 2 and 3, like what you have right now, is like that's like a longingness, which is not necessarily like I would say it's like not contentness, and I would say the happiness is almost
okay.
Like
so I'm prejudiced. Okay, I'll tell you why. And you don't have to believe me here, but where okay, anyone know where in the Rambam we know this phrase from? Tzama el nafshi l'kim l'kel chai.
The Rambam?
In the Rambam.
Okay, I have no idea.
Okay, Ken said, when I said it, he said, how do you know that? I said, because I've read this halacha thousands of times.
Oh.
Okay, probably one of the halachas I've read the most is Avas Hashem, is love of God. And we're going to read it now, so you'll see the context. Hakel hagadol hagibor, this is in Yesodi Torah 2, 1 and 2. Hakel hagadol hagibor vanora hazeh mitzvah la'ava liyora mimeno. So this revered and awesome God, it is a mitzvah to.
What years were you saying? Because you're reading Hakel and Nichbad.
Oh, sorry, Hakel and Nichbad.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right. You know why? Because I'm teaching in tefilah. Hakel hagadol hagibor vanora. I'm teaching that all day. Hakel hanichbad vanora hazeh. This, but I translated it right? Yeah. It is a mitzvah to love him and to be in awe of him. Shneimar, it says, "V'havta es Hashem l'kecha," you shall love Hashem your God. V'nemar es Hashem l'kecha tira, Hashem your God you shall revere. V'heachi aderech la'avaso v'iraso. What is the way to love him and fear him? At a time when a person contemplates his actions and his wondrous great creations, and he sees from them his God's wisdom that has no comparison and no end. Immediately he loves and praises and glorifies and desires a great desire to know the great name. Amar David, as David says, my soul thirsts for God, for the living God. Okay, right? And if you compare that, that's love of God. Okay, I'm not going to read fear of God right now. If you compare that to his description in Tשובה 10, when he's talking about the Oved Me'ava, someone who serves God out of love, he says, first he defines it. Oved me'ava, someone who loves, who serves God out of love. Osik b'Torah u'v'mitzvos v'holach b'nesivos ha'chachma, lo mipnei davar olam. So he is involved in Torah and mitzvos and follows the paths of chachma, not because of any worldly thing. Lo mipnei yiras hara v'lo yikdei l'irashat tova. Not because of fear of harm and not in order to inherit the good. Ela oseh emes mipnei shu emes. He does what is true because it is true. V'sof ha'tova lavo bichlal. And the good will come of its own. Umalazo. Okay, I'm going to skip this one. Okay, this is the one I want. Ketat hi ha'ava haruya. What is the proper love, measure of love? Hushi Yahava es Hashem ahava gedola yesera rabba aza ad ma'od. This is that he loves Hashem with a great, excessive Gaza. No, I'm just kidding. Aza, strong love, very, very great, exceedingly. Until his soul is bound up in the love of God. And he's continually immersed in it. Elu, I think this, okay, this is a Machlokas in the Girsa. Yeah, Ke'elu, yeah, this is the right one. As, like those who are Chole Ha'ava, lovesick. She'ein datam penuya me'avas osa isha shuhu shoge ba'tamid. Like these, the guy whose mind is not free from the love of that woman which he is immersed in constantly in that love. Bein b'shivto, bein b'kumo, bein b'shashu ocha v'shose. Whether when he's sitting or standing up or eating and drinking, more greater than this should be the love of Hashem in the heart of those who love him. Shogim batami, they should be constantly immersed in it. As it says, with all your heart and all your soul, and all your might. This is what Shlomo describes. It's like I'm lovesick. And all of Shir Shirim is an allegory for this, right? So if you're going with that, okay, Avas Hashem is the highest state you can get, and it's a pleasurable state, right? And yeah, there's a love sickness where like you're obsessed, but like that's a starry-eyed, like, positive feelings, like endorphins, not sad. That's my read. And the other thing, I don't know if you have to read that, but that's, yeah.
I don't know, like when a deer is longing for water, is it not because it's thirsty, right? Which means that it's in a state of like negative, and so it's longing for that positive, no?
Yeah.
Like there's like a deficit that it needs to fill.
Yeah, I definitely hear that reading also. Yeah. I mean, I think if I didn't have the wrong one, I'd say that's shot. Okay. Yeah, Hoodie?
Yeah, also just to add to that, I mean, contextually, this whole thing sounds like someone's struggling. Like it definitely sounds like someone is.
Okay, so I'm going to argue others. So let me show you my thesis here, not for what the perek is about, just this pattern here. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so let's just do this here. Okay, so this is
cycles.
What?
Is this cycles?
Yeah, positive. Okay, so then you've got negative. My tears were sustenance for me by day and night when they said to me all day long, where's your God? These I mentioned, and I pour out on myself when I pass among the throng. Oh, actually, hold on. I think the other translation was better here. Oh yeah, no, he's recalling passing the throng, right? So he recalls the throng, and this is all happy, right? I walk in procession to the house of God with a voice of joy and thanksgiving, a noisy crowd that makes pilgrimage. Right. Okay, then he talks to himself, saying, "Why are you downcast, my soul? And why are you disturbed in my account?" Which is acknowledging the sadness. Then there's this hopeful note again. Wait for God, and I will yet. This is turning out differently than I did earlier today. Hold on. Yeah. Wait for God, and I will yet again gratefully acknowledge him for his saving countenance. All right, maybe I'm making a different point here. Wait, I saved it. Hold on. Let me just see how I did it last time. Oh, did I delete it? All right, I deleted it. My God, on account of this, my soul is downcast. Okay, forget about this. At the very least, it does go back and forth, right? So it is a little difficult that way, right? And there is another joyous one here also, right? By day, Hashem will command his kindness with me, and by night, yeah. So where would you have the pivot if you have a pivot? Seven, because he answers?
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, I also know. See, yeah. Okay, going with my argument here, just hear me out, okay? I was going with the fact that these first two psukim, see, they make songs about it. That's the raya, right? Is it sad songs or happy songs?
They're not sad, but like they're like mournful.
Isn't that sad? Okay, wait. Oh, fine, yeah.
They're dirty, but then again,
yeah. All right, fine, whatever. Just curious. So the way I was thinking about it is, if we're going with the idea that this represents love of Hashem, okay, so then 2 and 3 represent the good kind of, okay, let me put it this way. This is the good kind of distant from God, where you are yearning to merge with God, but in a positive way, right? Merge. Yeah. I mean, that's the mashal of the Yediyah, right? Okay. I mean, the lovesick, we just read that. Yeah.
Merge.
Yeah. Okay. But you can't, right? Because God is completely transcendent, right? So that's the rub, right? So but 2 and 3 is positive, but then 4 through 12 is the reality of his state. Okay, where he is downcast and he's distant from God and like he feels bad about it and stuff like that. That's kind of how I was gonna make a pivot.
Back and forth. That's also purpose.
I mean, yeah, I'm saying if I were forced to have a pivot, it'd be like that.
Whoa. That's wild.
Yeah. But look, I definitely see the going back and forth also.
It's funny because
It's not clean.
I would argue though that the reality is that you flip back and forth.
right.
That could, yeah,
Even within like somebody who's yearning though, there's times
Right.
where you yearn, times where you
right.
don't.
We call this the Venetian blinds, Brookham, right? We've got the
Right,
intersperse.
right.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I was gonna think similar to Han, which is that a lot of Tehilim, it seems like he goes maybe he's downcast stuff, and then there's this moment he comes to this realization and he's
Yeah.
happy the rest of it. But this reminds me more of the emotional battle one has when they're like they're downcast, then they think they figured out why they're downcast, and then they think they figured it out, and then nope, they're downcast again.
Yeah.
So they didn't actually figure it out, and then so it's different than that like one saving moment. It's more of like that back and forth of like you think you've got it. And
Yeah, I get that vibe also.
which makes it hard to do a pivot, but still that's just like
Yeah.
But
feeling.
just
Yeah.
to add to that point,
Yeah,
and like that's something I want to develop, but it is a Maskil, right? So
Right.
I'm wondering if like this is like a perek of like how to like either deal with
Yeah.
the reality once you're in that state or how to get to that state.
Right.
I mean, like you have to like I don't know. Obviously I can't really speak for somebody who isn't Ohev Hashem.
yeah,
But like something about flipping back and forth and not being a reality, not being able to emerge.
yeah, right.
Like as like if you're gonna fight against that, then you're gonna be like downcast. I'm not saying that's what he's saying necessarily, just I don't know.
Right.
Keeping in mind that it's a Maskil.
Yeah, that's a good point here. Yeah, all right. So I think this is a good stopping point, right? So let's think about this for next time. I will say that if you think about some of the ideas we said last time, you'll see them in here also. But I think the water is going to be a big key because that's the only thing we've seen that's like clearly unifying the entire thing. So yeah, okay. Until next time. See you later.
And
See ya.
in different forms too.
Yeah.